Yeah, if it is a VM, then it only runs a single application. But in case of containers, you can run n number of applications. But it is not a
Okay.
healthy practice because it creates a lot of errors as well.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope I answered your question. Any other
Yes.
doubt? Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I think my screen is visible, right?
Yes, Marcel, on your screen is.
Okay, thank you for the confirmation. Yeah, in case of Google, Google intern, yeah, sorry. Okay, okay. Cross-platform compatibility. Docker provides, yeah, it provides cross-platform compatibility. You can run it along with Kubernetes as well and few other cloud providers as well. Yeah, I will come it to you in upcoming slides. It can work with cross-platform as well. Okay. So in case of containers or in case of Google using the containers, Google is launching 4 billion containers per week. So that is a huge number, 4 billion containers per week. I don't know, have you performed this lab of VM or not yet, but the VMs which are in the data center of Google is completely holded by the containers. Also, we are using Gmail on a daily basis, web search, maps. Every application that Google is providing to us is somewhere supported by the containers or running on the containers as well. So I will come to the point why we need the multiple billions of container. Why can't we just develop a few hundreds of container or mega containers? Like there is one problem as well. I'll come in coming slides. So these are the basic examples like Gmail, MapReduce, GFS. These softwares are completely live and running in the environment of Google data centers on the containers. It is totally supported by containers. So yeah, this is the period of revolutionizing the traditional system with the modern upcoming containers. Okay. As we talk, containers comes in the picture when you are at the deployment stage of your software development lifecycle. Once you develop any application, website, you need to deploy it somewhere in order to make it available to millions and billions of users. So for deploying purpose, you can deploy it either by the traditional method like set up a server and set up a server framework in the traditional server, and you can just push your source code over there. And there is a one method like containerization. You can create a container, push your source code in the container, and you can just make it available to millions of users irrespective of any operating system and dependencies issues. Yeah, and as we talked about isolation, management, monitoring, everything become easy using containers. Okay. So before coming to Kubernetes, we talked about there is millions and billions of containers daily which are generated with different organizations. So these organizations are working in like isolated environments for different clusters and different. Uh, Let me clear the one thing first. There, if you are working in any organization, there are generally three clusters. Clusters is nothing but a group of servers or group of nodes. Okay, cluster is nothing but a group of servers. So these servers are of three types, like deployment cluster, development cluster, and testing cluster. We can also call deployment as a production cluster. So production cluster is very critical because production cluster is directly facing with the users and millions of users. So the remaining two clusters, testing and development cluster, these are for the internal use of the organization. So these clusters are used by internally organization, and production cluster is very critical because it is for the users which are currently using services of the organization. So when you are writing some code in testing cluster just to test your code and developing cluster just to develop your application, you have completely developed application is completely working on the servers. You have having zero issues on these servers. But when you are pushing your code to production cluster or production servers, it may show up some issues, it may show up some errors. So uh, you need to completely debug it, you need to completely set up multiple dependencies over there. So due to this problem, companies have shifted to the containers. Containers are bridging the gap between traditional system and these issues. So they're just compressing the gap and just eliminating the problems of dependencies and all overhead issues which were companies were facing for long years for now. And Kubernetes is this container management tool, right? So there are billions of container. Docker only provides the container generation or container creation services, but Kubernetes is used to manage billions, millions of services. Kubernetes is also known as K8. K8 is nothing but a number of alphabets present in Kubernetes. It is a short form of Kubernetes. You can also known as Kubernetes is also known as K8. So how to manage the billions of servers which are running on container? So yeah, there is a simple answer. You can just use a Kubernetes, set up an environment for Kubernetes, and you are good to manage millions and billions of running containers. Yeah, Kubernetes is a geek word which means pilot or any root or any superior executive as well. Okay, so it is 100% open source. You can also contribute in Kubernetes, and yeah, it is written in Go language, and some features of Kubernetes also in Java language as well. So why to use Kubernetes? We will see. First thing is we can manage multiple and large volume of containers. And when the container is managed, like let's take an example. I have some containers in USA region and some containers in Spain region. So these both geolocations are different and far from each other, but they are providing service to the same software. So how do I manage this both containers in different location at the same time? Yeah, how do I create a communication channel between these two Kubernetes container? So we can also use like what we said, simple communication channel term or any communication pipeline term. So there is one manager as well. Kubernetes provide. Yeah, here it is. Just we talked about these are three different nodes on three different location. Kubernetes works on master slave architect. So Kubernetes master used to manage this communication channel between these two geolocation of the containers. So you can create a communication channel between these containers in order to just you can push its source code on the one container, and through that channel it will circulate around the same containers as well. So it is the management becomes easy. Like if I'm having like millions of container, so it is very hectic to monitor each container. If health of any container gives any issues or gives any alert or utilized 100%, then the data of that container will completely get auto backed up, and the master node of this Kubernetes architect will eliminate that unhealthy server, and replace it with a healthy and new server with the same data of previous server. So these are the things that is we can consider it as automation, right? So the totally hectic work of organization and total what we can say debugging process, degenerating process, everything's get eliminated, and it works completely on automation right now. So this Kubernetes software management tool is completely developed by the Google, initially in something 2013 or 14, but now for now it is managed by Cloud Native company. So if you want to just get some more info on it, you can just visit Cloud Native Kubernetes website as well. Yeah, these are the few characteristics. Yeah, it can manage large volume of data, communication between services, monitor the health, and finding the right host to workloads, everything. Yeah, just we talked about declarative management. Yeah, in case of containers, there is only selective resources which will get utilized from your machine. You no need to dedicate a particular amount of resource to your software. It will only take how much requirement is of your software. And portable, yeah, you can run it on every platform, every operating system, irrespective of dependencies, because the dependencies will already present in the container. And yeah, infra abstraction. Infra abstraction means you are literally saving the infrastructure for the million and million of containers. So these are the few simple terms that you need to keep in your mind, because Kubernetes is a complex software to manage. It is for the heavy workload management. Right now, you will not face it, but once you join an organization, once in a while, you are going to face this. So you need to keep in your head that basic application and characteristics of this Kubernetes. Yeah. So we were talking about master and slave architecture, right? In before two slides. So master and slave architect works exactly what we can say in any movie. We can see there is one king and like few servants are there for king. Same thing is going on here. There is one server which will act as a master node, and there are multiple n numbers of servers which are coming in the which are under that master node. Master node will give some order to that slave node, and slave node will work according to that. And master node will monitor every activity going in that slave node. If the slave node means like server only. So if the master node notices the slave node is not working properly, it is unhealthy. There are some issues and alerts in that slave server. So it will directly eliminate it. It will replace it by new one. It will auto backup the data. It will give the alert to organization. So these few characteristics of master node is very important because when just we talked about millions and millions of containers, right? So there is one master container. Under that, n number of slaves are there. So in order to configure that servers, in order to configure that containers, I only need to give the command to master node. Master node will circulate to the slave node. So by this, I'm reducing my communication channel. Like I have to only deal with one master node, and it will take care of remaining slave nodes. Yeah, this is the architect. You can see the diagram over here. Cloud provider. We will come to the cloud on Kubernetes as well. But just you can take a basic understanding here. Nodes are nothing but servers, and this is your control panel dashboard of your Kubernetes management tool. And over here, it is a cluster. It is an n number of servers. So you can say how they communicate, how they manages the n number of containers. There is some APIs as well, Kubernetes, that we will talk about in upcoming slides. Okay, so initially I have mentioned YML manifest. So we have talked about there is some step-by-step process to install the container, to create the container, right? So this is that process, step-by-step process. I want to create some container, right? So the container will work on Nginx. Nginx is nothing but a server framework. Nginx, you can call it any name. And there is some commands given to that container that which dependencies are is requiring, which firewall policy is needing to my container. So these are the basic YML file that is used to create a basic container over here. Yeah. Pods is nothing but a single running instance. Like we have atom, smallest unit is atom, right? In chemistry or in our body, we can call it as atom. So it is very similar to atom. It is a smallest unit of Kubernetes cluster. It is a small running process instance. So it is only single running process instance. Okay, I hope my screen is visible, right? Can anyone just give me confirmation because I think there are some network issues.
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah, thank you. I think there is some doubts. Stop working. The one. No, it will not, Pratik. If HTTP application is containerized, then will the application stop throwing the warning? No. For that, you need to set up a policy in your container, like which kind of traffic you are expecting at your servers. Because if you have given the policy for HTTPS, it will only accept the HTTPS and throw warning for HTTPS traffic. Okay. So yeah, but single instance of pod cluster, what we can say, single pod have multiple parameters on which it runs. Like there are amount of volume the instance is using, the amount of resources the instance is using. So these are the resources a single process is using in Kubernetes. This process. Okay, moving ahead. So these kind of things we can perform with Kubernetes. Like scheduling your process, automating the process as well, scaling up and scaling down. It is the major issues companies were facing. Like if there's a traffic and increases rapidly on your servers, how we can auto scale it with the containers. So the solution is Kubernetes, debugging, monitoring. Almost every problem is solved by Kubernetes over here. Okay, so Kubernetes is a technology, right? Either you can download the Kubernetes and set up all the Kubernetes services in your local system operating system. But there is one more option for that. You can directly use Kubernetes through the cloud provider. That is GKE. One service called GKE, Google Kubernetes Engine, which is provided by Google Cloud. Okay. Yeah. So I'm getting very tired reading it out. So I hope the person performing this task will also get tired. So this is the very hard way to install and set up Kubernetes environment in your local system. So why don't we just use a cloud environment or cloud services? Yeah, GKE, that is Google Kubernetes Engine. It is managed environment for deploying containerized applications. Yeah, it is very similar to Kubernetes. There is no difference between GKE. Yeah, there are a few advanced features in GKE, but it is very similar to Kubernetes, what we have talked about recently. Okay, so there is one feature called autopilot in GKE. So what it does, it automates these processes, which are over here: scaling up and down, monitoring and management, like security, network configuration. Everything is can be automated using autopilot feature of Google Kubernetes Engine. What is a process of autopilot? It is nothing but these resources, these parameters over here can be totally taken care of from Google side. Okay, so if you are a developer, if you developed some application and containerized it and gave it to Kubernetes for the management purpose, and you have just enabled the feature of autopilot in GKE in Google Cloud, then Google will take care of these parameters. You don't need to worry about the alerts and warnings over here. Okay, fully managed and optimized for production. Yeah, what exactly what we have seen here, these are the points. Optimized for production, like so production is nothing but a production cluster. You can just totally depend upon Kubernetes. No need to change the dependencies in production cluster. SLA is on control panel. SLA is nothing but a service level agreement. So if I have developed any application and I need to make it public, like license it or claim a copyright over it, then there is one SLA. So SLA is service level agreement. It is nothing but a document which shows what services are provided, you are given from my software. What are the conditions? In which condition my software will work? In which condition my software will throw errors? And everything over here. So SLAs are important in the organizations. When you join any organization, if there is one software and software is not working according to SLAs, then escalation will be raised. So SLAs is what we can say, it's a formal document for any software tool or any software application as well. Yeah, secure by default with hardening guidelines implemented. Yeah, when you talk about Google, it is highly secure. It is still Kubernetes, but it is over the Google Cloud. So Google Cloud Engine. There is no major difference in that. Yeah, few features are there which are in GKE, but not in the normal and local Kubernetes environment. Okay. So Cloud Run. Cloud Run is nothing but a service of Google Cloud. I hope that till now you have gone through the labs of Cloud Run and cloud courses as well, Cloud Run course as well, because it was present in first week as well. So we will not talk much about it over here. But yeah, Cloud Run can take the service from the Docker, take the container from Docker, and run in the data center service server. Yeah, so Docker is compatible with cross-platform, like the cross-platform service, like Google Cloud Service. There is a Cloud Run. I don't know. Someone asked just now. It is compatible with cross-platform or not. So Cloud Run can take Docker containers and can run it in over the cloud. Okay, moving ahead. So this was the technical part of the session. So the major aim to take the containers and Kubernetes in this session was Like I felt like there was not enough content on Kubernetes and container over the Google Cloud course, which you guys are referring right now in the campaign. So I thought to take this two, three topics. I felt it important, and yeah, it is like important to know you right now because you will be using these containers and Dockers in your coming projects. So yeah, task for this week, you need to complete all the courses and quest over the which are present in the campaign syllabus. You need to complete everything before the end of this week because you will be working on project after that. So I hope every one of you have at least covered 50-60% of syllabus till now. If not, then just you need to complete it as soon as possible because you can't spend 90% of time on learning and 10% on project. Project will take some time, and project is very important because without project you will not get goodies. So goodies is kind of important for all. So can just anyone tell me the progress and issues you are facing while labs or any other course? Just pin it in chat box. If you're facing any kind of issues in labs, then you can just pin in chat box or share it in group as well. Okay, we'll talk about this at the end of session. And there are few announcements that I have to make. Yeah. So I think this is the most important slide in the session, goodies. So what are the conditions to get self-rewarded goodies and earn goodies? So there are the two conditions. First is complete all the syllabus, complete all the courses, all the quest, labs, everything. And the second is minimum 35% of participated students should complete this cloud learning path, that is your syllabus. Yeah, someone just ping in the group, do I heard goodies? Yeah, you heard it right, man. So yeah, I can't show this picture to you right now of goodies, but there are goodies. But few conditions are there: complete your cloud engineering learning path, plus 35 participants or 35 plus participants from our campus should complete this syllabus. If 34 are there, then we won't be getting any goodies. So ask your friends to complete it as soon as possible. Yeah, talking about project, uh, we are having one project. One means only single one project. So there is only one project allowed from the each campus. So I will be taking care of that projects as well. So you can come up with new ideas, or you are still working on any existing idea. Yeah, you have any uh, great idea in your mind, then you can just share it with me. We will work it out together, and we will use few cloud services which is mandatory. I'll just show you. Yeah. So these are the guidelines. Please take screenshot of it, or just read out it and keep it in your mind. Okay, I hope you have taken screenshot. Yeah, so you will work on the project over the actual Google Cloud account. Actual Google Cloud account means you will have the professional account. Till now, you are working on labs, that is on Quick Labs platform. So on the project stage, you will work on actual Google Cloud account, and don't worry, you will have $50 credit for that. So the $50 credit will be redeemed from a coupon. The coupon will only get to the students, those who have completed that cloud learning path, and those who have made a great progress. Only the students will be shortlisted and will be given $50. Okay, so not each student will be get $50. Only a single student will get $50, and he can form a team over there with a good student, and he can submit a single project. So Just complete your path and I'll reach out to you if you are performing well, because I'm getting the daily reports of each and every student who have enrolled in themselves in the campaign. And one more thing, the deadline to submit your project is 28th December, and you can start working on project from 14th December. So keep these dates in your mind. Before 28th you have to submit. And one more thing, they have given the cloud run, cloud function, and cloud storage, three services. In these services, three services, any one service you have to choose, or you can use multiple services as well. But from these three, any one service you should use in your project, and it shouldn't cost more than $50, because we only have max limit of $50. And yeah, after completing your project, you need to document it, right? So the steps to document your process is over here. Problem statement should be clear, and problem statement should be related to real world. Like you can't just create any hypothetical statement and submit your project. It will not get shortlisted or accepted over there. So these are the things which are required to submit your project, but we will see it later once we are done with projects. So if you want, you can just take a screenshot of it. I'll wait 5 more seconds. Okay. So yeah, as we talked about, there is no any barrier for the programming language. You can use any language which you are good in. And these three services, cloud run, cloud function, and cloud storage. From these three services, any one service you have to choose in your project. Yeah. So this is the last deadline, 28th December. Please keep it in your mind. After that, you won't be able to submit a project. There will be no extension in the deadline. And yeah, I have shared one message on the group that is of 10th December as a deadline. But there is one good news. Congratulations to everyone. 21st December is the new deadline. To complete your all the cloud syllabus and all the courses and question lab. Initially it was 10th of December, but congratulations, it is extended. You have more time now. You can complete it in this week as well, or in coming week as well. But you should start working on the project along with this course and completions and everything, question labs. So there is not a thing to talk about that we have less time or any shortage of duration of the campaign. I think it is very enough time to complete all the courses, paths, and every lab. If you have any questions regarding these technical and campaign related announcements, you can ask. Also, you can ask it in group as well. If you are not feeling like to ask in the group, you can ping me personally. I will answer that query over there also. So if you want goodies, just complete all your learning paths, and I will reach out to you according to your performance in labs and in course completion, consistency in the campaign. These parameters will be considered to get your name shortlisted for the project. And yeah, those students who are in the project, that will get some additional benefits from Google Cloud Career Practitioner campaign. That was from my side. If any questions are there, you can just ping it in the chat box. Okay. So that was from my side, guys. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the chat box or in the group. You can ping me personally. Any doubt regarding cloud computing as well, and you are facing any issues in projects, I will be there to help you. and I recommend you to complete all the syllabus in this week only, because from next week shortlisted students will get a project, or if you have any good ideas for the project, you can reach out to me. We will work on that. Okay, so that was all from my side. Ping me if you have any doubt in group as well or in personally. I'm there to answer. Thank you.